for a fact, it is usually a daunting task to leave something you thought would be your forever career or something that has been bringing you joy and excitement, something that you've built all your life around, something you've always been proud, passionate about, and loved with every fiber of your being, a profession that you chose above every other profession because of your ability, commitment, and competence to deliver on the job. I don't want to continue to speak in parables before an elder. Well, I have joining me on Tosin's Corner today an educationist, a father, a grandfather who not until recently that he left the classroom has impacted so many children and families in the classroom. He's no other person than Abire Albert Chigoze. Mr. Abire, as I fondly call him, taught for over 4 decades and even taught my daughter in primary school. Mr. Abire, thank you so much for joining me in my little corner.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
All right, let's begin with when did you start teaching or how it began, rather?
Okay. I started teaching in 1981.
81?
Yes, shortly after my secondary school. We were employed then by the local government education department as an auxiliary teacher. I was one of those that we are employed. Then sent to Central School Ugweme to teach. I was the youngest of all the teachers then. And I taught people that were far older than me. I was a little bit uncomfortable in the class teaching older people. But since I am in command, then I had no option than to take charge of the classroom. But then I kept warning them not to call me sir. They should just call me teacher.
And how was the experience? How was it like? Was this something that you really wanted to do or circumstances, put you in that profession?
No, it wasn't circumstances. In fact, it looked like I was born to teach. Because even while I was in primary school, I kept teaching. Sometimes the teacher will ask me to teach other children. When I was in secondary school, if you want to keep me quiet, you just ask me to teach. And I would comfortably teach others. Most often, I think my classmates understand my teaching more than the teachers own. It wasn't by chance. It looked like
All right. So, what was your major?
By God's grace, I think I don't really have one major because I was always good in almost all the subjects. Yeah, in English I teach, in math I teach, but most often people do not understand mathematics so much, so that's where they always engage me to help them out.
All right, so Mr. Abire, could you tell us about teaching, the difficulties, the challenges, and how you were able to surmount them?
Teaching is a noble profession. I understand that, and I kept saying it. I tell anybody who cares to listen to me that teaching is a noble profession. It is the only profession that every other profession is built on. Because without a teacher, there will be no other profession. So teaching is good to me, and I've been doing it.
So what were the challenges that you encountered?
Why in the course? Well, I can remember when I was employed newly at New Capital School. I had this encounter. I was just new in the field, and then in the classroom, because I like to manage my class, I like to take charge of my classroom. One little girl wanted to take charge, but I didn't allow her. I think I caned her. And then she looked straight at me and asked me, "Teacher, you flogged me? Teacher, you are finished." Honestly, I felt it. Then I was just new and I felt, hi, I'm going to lose this job. But one other girl too stood up and told me, say, "Teacher, flog her again." And he told me, say, "Teacher, I am telling you, if this girl's father lock you up, a single phone call from my father will set you free anywhere in Nigeria." And as I was demonstrating, she too was demonstrating it. So that a single phone call. I didn't flog him, but I felt that I was going to lose the job immediately. And the following day, The girl came to the class and in her left hand she dropped a letter, an envelope. It was for a letter from the dad. And then I started shivering because I didn't know what was the content. But I had to smuggle the letter carefully into a book and took it to the toilet to read. Fortunately for me, he was a Muslim father and he seems to understand. He wrote in that letter, said, "Teacher, my daughter reported you to me. I asked her how long you have been in the school and she told me that you were newly employed. And that I felt that since you were newly employed, you had no previous grudges against my daughter." He said he was fully convinced that the daughter deserved the cane and that he is encouraging me to flog her anytime she misbehaves, that she will come to the school to see me after school. That last line hit me off. Coming to school after school to see me. I felt that what she's going to see me will not be palatable. It's really challenging, but happily when the man came, he came with 10 strokes of cane and gave me 9. I heard one. He said, "Look, teacher, this cane is only for my daughter. I'm going to use this one to teach you how to flog her." So I had to intervene. I begged the man very well. Later, he told me, he said, "Look, children of these nowadays have no respect for teachers. That in their own days, who are you to report your teacher to your parents that your father will skin you alive?"
And was there anything that you learned from that particular scenario?
Well, what I actually learned was that there are some parents who still have value for teachers. There are some parents who understand that teachers will not cane without reason. There are also some parents who value what the teacher do in the classroom. So that's what I learned. But I can tell you that I didn't flog that girl again. We actually became friends and then she never disturbed me in the class again.
So if you were to turn back the hands of time, what would you do differently in the classroom?
There's no regret. There's nothing I would have done differently in the classroom.
I was going to ask you that, are there any regrets?
No, I have no regret being in the classroom. I've never been worried and I think children like what I do in the classroom.
What is your highest point while in the classroom?
I can remember there was this parent who was paying me salary alongside my school salary. And he calls me and tells me, "Mr. Bire, this money that I'm giving you is for you not to add 1 mark that my child did not deserve." And it looked like the man understands me because I'm also very strict. I wouldn't have done that, but he was paying me not to add any mark that the child did not deserve. It was a notable thing in my life. And I can also tell you that there was also another parent at different times that was giving me money every day. The money was big. My salary then, in fact, in 2 days, she will be able to pay my salary. At a point, I felt uncomfortable collecting this daily money. Each time the school closes, I will go to the toilet to hide so that she will not see me to give me the money. But the following day, she will put the money in an envelope and give me. At a point, I went to the owner of the school and asked her to help me change the child from my class to another class. That was at New Capital School. The owner of the school wanted to know why, and I explained that the money that I was getting from the parents was just much, that I don't want the money again. She asked me where I came from. I said I am an Igbo man. And she was pretty surprised. I said, Igbo man? Say yes. Which state? I said, Enugu State. She said, oh, no wonder. These are the foolish Igbo people. Because No Igbo man will see money and reject it. But I saw money, I rejected it. And I told her that I don't want that money. Because I knew why she was giving me. I could guess why she was giving me that money. Then she told me that she knew what was in my mind. I should go and collect that money and do what I want. That very thing that it was in my mind. So I kept collecting the money. And then at the end of the day, I didn't deliver.
To give the child mark?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I didn't deliver.
Oh, wow.
And she was angry.
So, well, if you're just joining us, it's Tosin's Corner. Tosin's Corner continues in a moment. And the topic we are treating is life after leaving the classroom. And my guest has been Mr. Aguiyi Chigozie. All right, welcome back. It's still Tosin's Corner. Mr. Abire, you have made so much impact for the past 4 decades. That's over 40 years. At least I can attest to that because he taught my daughter in grade 3. You're witty, you're jovial, yet firm. What is the idea behind this? To be able to combine all of these abilities together?
Well, I think I felt that the classroom should not be like a graveyard. It should be an extension of the home. In fact, I keep telling the children that I am their father in the school because I know that the classroom should be made conducive for learning. So I make sure that I teach the children. I use play-way method in teaching.
Play-way method.
Yeah. So while we play, we learn. We play, we learn. We laugh in the classroom.
And the children will look forward to coming to classroom. They following the unlike if the reverse was the case, where a child is not looking up to, looking forward to coming to school.
And because I am jovial, my children like me. I crack joke, I tell them stories. But beyond that, when it is time, because I know there's time for everything. When you laugh, you learn. When it is learning time, we have to be firm. So you don't have to take it for granted, but it helps them to also come to me when they are in trouble. If I don't laugh, if I keep frowning my face, they'll be scared of telling me their problems. So I saw that method is helping me, and I kept on doing it.
Do you miss the classroom or the profession?
Yes, because you remember 1981 I started teaching, and then I worked briefly for 3 years outside the classroom. It was at Nigerian Cement Company. So while I was there, my boss then, I remember very well, he told me, look, we work hard here. We work very hard. I said, okay, I will do my best. He said, no, you're not doing your best. You must do what I said. We try. So when I started working, I discovered that there was no work there. You just come to the office, pick file, turn the file, do some writing, and then that's all. At the end of the month, you get your pay. Without working really. I was not fulfilled. I was not getting what I actually wanted. At a point, I would finish my own work, go to other people's table, pick their own file, and treat. One day, my boss came and said, why is your table empty? I said, no, there's nothing to do. I finished my work. He said, then it means you are redundant. Then he started teaching me how to work in an office. You get your file, you open it, you hold your Bible and pretend that you are working. And you are doing nothing.
That is what we call busy doing nothing.
And I told him, I said, I am not trained to do this kind of a thing. That these files are human beings. How can you just open file and pretend to be working when you are doing nothing? Say, I should go back to that machine. Then I left. So I'm happy in the classroom. I felt happy. I have to. So if you ask me to go back, I will be still happy working in the classroom.
Oh, you are retired, but not tired, obviously. Yes. And we thank God for that. I thank God for your life. So what do you have up the sleeve? What are you up to? What have you been doing since you left the classroom?
What I do, I know that for teaching so long, I have gained a lot of knowledge. And I feel that if I don't transfer that knowledge to new teachers, I will die with them. So I go from school to teach teachers how to teach.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Oh, wow. You are a veteran in the field, and that is what is expected, originally. That's what anybody will expect.
Yeah, that's why I go about teaching them how to teach without the cane.
There is this belief that high unemployment rate is mainly responsible for us seeing so many people going into or delving into the teaching profession, people who do not have the love of the profession at heart, but due to circumstances. You remember at the beginning I asked you what made you, go into teaching. So what is your take on this assertion?
Yeah, I agree with you. And we see that in the classroom, and immediately they have opportunity, they leave. Those who don't have the passion for teaching don't last long in the classroom.
Very true.
That is the truth.
So let's talk about poor remuneration for teachers. There is this saying that the reward of teachers is in heaven. Teachers are underpaid and the likes. How were you able to manage, and what do you think can be done differently to make the teachers to reap the fruit of their labor while they are lying?
I think we can digress a little.
No, why not?
Yeah. In a lighter mood, I also believe that teachers' reward is in heaven.
So you
yes, and that is why I am not so religious. Because if my salary is in heaven, it means I am assured to be in heaven.
Okay, coming out gradually. So other teachers watching you now, we have a different opinion. I am not happy with that assertion. People should get reward for their hard work, for their labor. So some teachers have been using one corner eye.
No. They should not be demoralized. That's why I say it's on a lighter mood.
Exactly.
Then seriously, I am always content with what I have. It's not about the payment. It's about the passion. If you have the passion for the job, you will be happy with what you are being paid. Then, but again, those of us who teach or who were opportune to teach the children of those who matter in Nigeria, we also have something that we gain, what we call in the classroom TGC. I'm sure your daughter may have told you something about TGC. So what we call TGC is no English, it's take, go, chop. I have a medical doctor. People were wondering, how did you train a medical doctor? The parents helped me to train a medical doctor. You see how I have gained from the field,
exactly.
So
that means that the reward that you said is in heaven. You have started reaping.
It's part of it that I'm taking here. The rest is in heaven.
All right, Mr. Abire. So let's talk about the issue of training and retraining for teachers. That issue cannot be overemphasized. How often do you think that teachers should be made to go for training so they can refresh themselves?
We were talking about reading the other time, and I remember I told you that when you stop learning, you start dying. So teachers should be trained and retrained. So I think regular training is good for teachers. If you don't go for regular training, you'll be lost. You won't know what is happening.
You lose touch. The world is evolving.
It should be a regular thing. Maybe once every year, the owners of school should bankroll teachers training. It will help them. It will help the owner of the school too, because when teachers teach well, then it will attract more parents to that school. So it is good.
So what advice do you have for anyone who may be interested in joining the profession?
My advice is that that person should have the interest of that job at heart. He should also be patient because he has to grow with time. And then he should be ready to learn because teaching these days It's different from what they do these days.
When is the best time for someone to retire?
Government is not doing what they are supposed to do for teachers.
Mm.
So they are losing them.
Mm.
They are losing teachers.
Mm.
That is why they increase the number of years from 60 to 65, because if they are treating teachers very well, more teachers will be coming in, and then those old ones will be eager to leave so that the young one will come. So once someone is getting older, you should give way for the younger ones. But government should encourage teachers. When they pay them more, well, more people will come into the teaching instead of going out.
All right. So, Mr. Abire, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I called you and, you came. Thank you so much. And it's on this note that we'll be rounding off the show. I just want to lend my own voice too, that the government should please look into the remuneration of the teachers. When you increase their pay, you have more hands. You have more competent hands, teaching our children, imbibing values in them. So I'll say bye.